Hello and welcome to the Cabin Boy Knits Woolcast, coming to you deep from the Canadian forest.
This is Christopher.
And this is the other guy.
Jamie.
We just came back from a fantastic trip to the Poconos, and we were listening to a concert in the Catskills.
We visited a very special sheep farm. We went to a couple of yarn shops, and I'm going to talk history, sheep.
And we're going to announce the winner of our last episode. So sit back, grab your favorite drink, and we'll tell you our stories. We just came back from an incredible trip to the Catskills in the Poconos.
I had never been to the Catskills, or have I?
I don't think so. I mean, we drove kind of around it, but you've never been actually up it.
I have to say, it's absolutely stunning. The rolling hills. I mean, the mount. Do they call them mountains?
Yeah.
Well,
so
they're the Catskill Mountains, but I guess I'm so used to our extraordinary, Rocky Mountains, which are majestic, and so these are mountains, not quite the same scale, but they're beautiful rolling hills, mountainous high peaks.
yes, let me just educate you on this one.
Okay, let's.
Okay, so the Catskill Mountains are part of the Appalachians, and the Appalachians
Okay.
start in Newfoundland, and they go all the way down to central Alabama. So this is just a province of the Appalachians.
Okay, and the Poconos and
Would probably be-
Catskills
yeah.
are the same mountain range. They just keep flowing and
Yeah.
flowing and going and going.
Yeah, and
It's absolutely stunning.
beautiful.
You know what I'm
Stunning.
not used to too is because when you look at them, it's just beautiful greenery, this foliage everywhere. Where out in the West Coast, Canada, the
Yeah.
Rocky Mountains, there's the peaks are so high, so they don't have a whole lot of vegetation towards the top. And the foothills are green, but then you see rock. So
Right.
that's why I guess in my mind, when I see rock, I think mountains, not so much when I just see these huge, massive hills of green.
Yeah.
They're actual mountains.
Yeah, stunning. And so why did we go there?
Because there are sheep and yarn shops like everywhere else in the world. But specifically, we wanted to meet specific people who are sheep farmers and have beautiful, wonderful shops that have
Yes.
been on our list of to do since we're going to be in the neighborhood.
Yeah. And so the first place we went to was
I don't know.
the Sheep Nest. No, it was the Sheep Nest. And
Yes.
do you remember the town? We got out of our car to take a picture of it.
Oh, Hobart.
Hobart.
Because
Hobart.
our dog sitter's from Hobart. The
Yes.
other Hobart.
The real Hobart.
Well, Hobart's real in the States. But it's a little town, whereas the other one's the capital of Tasmania.
Yeah.
And so our friend, one of our very good friends from Hobart, Tasmania, was dog sitting. I said, oh my gosh, we're in Hobart, which I've never been to Hobart, Tasmania, but we were in Hobart, Pennsylvania. We're in Pennsylvania.
No,
yet?
we were in Hobart,
Oh
New
my
York.
gosh.
Hobart, New York. Well, I mean, yeah.
Okay.
So we were all over the place, but we were in Hobart, New York, and we
Hobart, New
had
York.
a fantastic trip into the Sheep Nest,
Yes.
which is a beautiful cottage, English cottage that was made after the owners went to a trip to England, and then they came back and they were inspired by
Yes.
the cute cottages, so they built one themselves and made it into a gift
Yeah.
shop.
He's quite the tradesman. I mean,
Yeah,
handicraft
yeah,
carpenter. And yes, she thought this would make a beautiful shop if we.
And it
shop.
does.
And it looks historic. I thought it was a converted something, or I thought maybe it was an old outbuilding that had been converted because they used a lot of, historical, like salvage wood beams,
Yeah.
hand hewn. Is that how you say it? Logs. And oh my gosh, I'm a little tired. We just got back from where we came from last night, and I'm all out of sorts. More coffee,
and
please.
so what else did they have? They had Shetland sheep, so you can shop in the shop and then go out and look at their Shetland sheep, and they've got a gorgeous dog as well. Do you remember the dog?
Oh my goodness, yes.
So beautiful.
Lovable.
Well, rather than talking about it, why don't we show it?
Okay, let's have a look.
We shopped in the shop. We both shopped in the shop. It's so quaint. I could spend the whole day there. It was so
Well, we
lovely.
did spend quite a bit of time there.
We
There's
did.
so much to take in.
And the garden beside was
Oh,
gorgeous.
the garden was gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
And the end of the countryside was gorgeous.
Yep.
The sheep in the hill. It was,
And
beautiful, beautiful setting. It had a pond with a swing. I mean, it was just stunning. Imagine just living there on that beautiful farmstead. It is absolutely stunning.
I also love that I don't tell you a lot about where we're going, and you think that we actually happen upon it. Happen upon a yarn shop, the sheep
look, there's
nest.
a yarn shop over there in the cornfield. That's why I almost poked your eye out.
I'm used to it. Okay, why don't we show?
Well, and as you
everyone what we
mentioned, there were things that purchases made. Of course, you don't
Yes.
walk out of a yarn shop without purchases. At least this one doesn't.
The first thing I loved was lamb chops. So it's a lamb
Oh.
chopping wood. I thought that was.
You're gonna have to show that.
I know because it's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll show you a pic. Well, I'll have it cut out.
Christopher's on that card. I see him
Pretty much.
pretty much.
Yeah, he's lean. He's very svelte. I'm not sure I'm not svelte like that anymore, but I thought it was great. The second thing was they sell yarn from their sheep herd, and
Yes, and then we couldn't get close enough to the sheep because they were a little skittish.
they were they were.
But they were there.
Yeah.
There.
So I was really excited. How many times do you go into a gift shop and they have sheep in the back? So after you
Yeah.
finish,
Oh,
in
absolutely.
the shop,
I
you
mean,
can go out and look
we've
at the
been to
sheep.
many yarn shops, but
Yeah.
there are the sheep right outside the window, and there's the yarn inside the building.
Yeah. So this is a sport weight, and it's 100% Shetland. It's their sheep. I'm going to use this to make my Shetland hat.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's very nice.
And it's all
So
natural.
It's all natural. I love it.
Uh-huh.
And you picked up something.
Well, did you only get the one?
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah, because I'm going to combine
Why
this
did
with a yarn that I dyed blue.
I got this. It was from their very rare breed of pink sheep.
Yes.
It was just one of those gene
Were you-
mutations with
Were you the pink sheep of the family?
It was the one that kept eating the pink candy floss.
Yes.
They fed it pink candy floss.
Yep.
No, this is merino, and it's you know this brand, don't you?
Malabrigo.
Yes.
Yes.
And the reason I got it was because I came up with a pattern a while back that I still have to write it out, even though I don't know how to write out a pattern. I'm just going to put down what I did, and that I guess becomes a pattern. But it's a fatty yarn.
It's a fatty yarn. Yes.
I need that. I need this because we had some of this, and it's like a super chunky, and that makes the base of the hat. Which, why would you not have thicker yarn? Which, think about a headband. So
Yes.
I thought headband, keep your forehead, your ears warm, and then you use something else for the top part of the hat. So I thought I could use this to knit another one of my hats when the pattern comes out. You'll be the first
To
to
come
know.
out of your mouth, or yeah, because the pattern's in here right
I
now.
know, I
And you've
know.
I know mentally you know what it looks like.
Yes.
We just need to get it on the paper.
That's the hard part because
Yes.
it cannot go from here to here because I don't
I'll help
really
you with
know
that.
patterns. So, but it goes from here to my needles and comes out on the needles.
Yep. So that'll be a fun exercise.
Yeah. So I love it. I love the color and I love the wool. Super
So
soft
the sheep
merino.
nest, it was in Hobart, New York. Fantastic. Highly recommend that.
And she was lovely
Oh my gosh, the daughter.
and knowledgeable.
Yeah, very, very,
She
very
knew
nice.
everything about everything.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep, she was great. So that was that. And then we went on to where we were staying. We didn't know the owner
No.
of where we were staying. So
New
received,
friend.
you received a call or an email from someone we met last year.
Yes. And an invitation if we were going to be driving right straight down past
Yes.
his friends and said, "Hey, we're getting together the weekend before the other event.
Yeah.
Would you want to come and spend the weekend in the Catskills? There's going to be a little bit of a show, a concert, and a variety act." and so we thought, tell us more. And so we thought,
well, it was kind of like broken telephone because I mean,
broken telephone.
you picked up you had a conversation, I think, and with Pickles, who was the one who arranged it, brokered it.
Yes.
And Pickles
This is one of her good friends.
Yeah, Pickles is
One of his good friends for many years.
Yeah, is an iconic drag queen from New York.
Yes.
And so when Pickles reached out, we were trying to figure out what exactly we were getting that we were going to. And so it sounded like we're going to a friend's place in the Catskills and there's going to be a concert. That I was all in on that one. It sounded
Absolutely.
amazing. Really, really excited to
Um,
go.
and we thought, hey, why not? We like meeting new people. We'll make new friends in the Catskill Mountains.
Yep.
And absolutely, it turned into, it was absolutely stunning
It was
cottage
incredible.
right out of the 70s. It was sort of like, kind of like, it looked something very European, like Scandinavian,
Yeah.
you know, A-frame, but much bigger, with a beautiful deck cleared on. Oh my gosh, the view is majestic across the way with the
It,
mountains and the sunset.
yeah.
Absolutely. And then it just rolling down like this to a flat area where he had an outdoor stage and a wood burning cedar hot tub.
Yeah.
It was
And
stunning.
and he being Julian Fleischer and
Fleischer.
Fleischer,
Was it Fleischer?
Fleischer,
We
and
had this discussion because very specific in the way he pronounced the name.
well, we will. I'm going to attach the interview that Pickles did with Julian.
Oh yeah,
and
that's
then
fine.
You can
Why
figure
not
out
do that?
the correct pronunciation. But Julian is incredibly charming,
Fleischer, I believe.
very, very talented musician and producer, songwriter. So it was fantastic.
Yeah, and he's done some acting, and then
And author as well. He
and
did
who
Legendary
else?
Drag Queens of New York.
That's right, and that's where Pickles is in that book as well. That's the connection because they've known each other a very long time. And then there was an incredible songstress, songbird.
Yeah. So basically, we went to this place, and then there was a concert, and the concert was they built a phenomenal structure, and it was an outdoor stage basically. So he has two.
As I mentioned,
Yeah, but
he wasn't listening.
I was listening, but I
No,
just
he
wanted
wasn't.
to. But it was really nice, and then inside he also has an inside studio.
He has a little showroom
Well, it's quite the showroom
in the basement.
in the basement. It was beautiful. So anyway, yes. So the show went on. The show must go on.
And she was incredible.
Yes. So Amber Martin, phenomenal singer. I mean, we sat there. We had goosebumps.
Phenomenal singer and entertainer.
And we both teared up. Her mother. Oh, she's coming out with a country album. And
that should be great.
Yes. You know, she's traveled all over the world and she sang at the Sydney Opera House. I mean, she's been all over, and she's in her new album. I think Rufus Wainwright wrote a song for her. Julian wrote a song. Her mother wrote a song. It was the mother song I think that did us in. Oh my God,
there were many.
It was so great.
She's so vivacious and full of energy and incredible voice. But all of them fantastic. But yeah, the one touched me. It was the song that she sang that her mother wrote, and it brought me to tears.
Yeah,
it really did. It was moving.
Yeah, and then Connor Bonvillain, he sang some of his songs.
Yes,
which were great as well.
He was quite the little entertainer as well.
Yes,
he was a lot of humor and a lot of. He's one of these people who he's got such a sweetness to him, but his talent, I don't think he's aware of how much he brings with his presence and talent. He just comes alive on stage, because when we met him, he's definitely, he doesn't think he brings it that much more, like up a level or two, but he doesn't realize that, oh, absolutely. When you have a conversation with him and then you put him in the stage, it's like that day. He really does.
Yeah.
He belongs there because of his animated self, and who he is just all around good entertainment. Yeah. It's very good, and he can only get better.
And then the closing act was
oh no, that one's X-rated. We can't show.
Pickles and David, and oh my gosh, it was crazy. I don't know how to describe it other than it was everything.
I wouldn't say X-rated. It would just be like, what do you call that? PG-14, or should it be above 14? I don't know.
There's a
teenagers have the internet. It's nothing like that. It's just, it was very, very fun.
Yeah, it was. If that's what drag New York's like, I'm moving to
crazy drag, over the top.
Yeah,
basically gives birth to his.
It was Oedipus, the story of Oedipus, basically, an X-rated version.
Okay, we'll go with that.
But just the last thing on that was, Julian there was a party afterwards, and I was talking to his neighbors. A lot of the neighbors came out.
Yes,
and they love him. They just, he does so much for the community, and so everybody needs a Julian in their neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the concert and all of it was so much appreciated by everyone, including us. And so thank you for the invite. And hey, hope to get invited again.
Yes. And before leaving that area, we went to a yarn shop.
We did.
We did. It was
Do we go
called.
from there to the yarn shop?
We went while we
I
were
don't
there.
remember
While we were there,
driving down the mountain.
anyway, while we were there, we went to Windham, New York, which is a big ski area, and we
Mhm.
went to the Knitting Room, New York,
Okay.
and you were
Yes.
with me.
Why can't I remember the drive there?
And it was May and Kyrie were the May, and it's May and Zyrie are the owners of the shop,
Yes.
and they have a lovely shop. I love this shop. It was great, and they're in an absolutely gorgeous setting.
And they were
Surrounded by
so passionate
mountains.
about it all.
Yes.
And then, well, you're going to see some of it, but the part that touched me most was Zyrie's story, her story, basically, of how she landed there, how they met, how they.
Oh my gosh,
Was,
but you also
it was
have a lot in common with
fantastic.
them as well. Like you both come from the film industry. Like
Well,
you spent I think a significant part of your life
well, no, I
working.
wouldn't say that.
You would, like, when you look at
Well, I did
your
stuff, but it
career
wasn't
at
major.
working. I didn't say that though, but you were on sets for a long time.
Yeah, I was on set,
And so were they.
and they were on set. So
Yes.
we talked about that a little.
That
bit.
was the common link.
Yes.
Why don't we take a look at the store? We are at the Knitting Room in the beautiful Catskill Mountains of Windham, New York, and we're going to check out a fantastic yarn shop. So let's go in. Big store. Hello, I'm Christopher.
Hi, Christopher.
And this is Jamie.
Nice to meet you, Jamie.
Hi, Jamie. Hi, Christopher.
Hi, who do we have here?
My name is May.
Hi, my name is Zyrie.
Excellent. Do you mind showing us the store? This is beautiful. Really, really nice.
Thank you so much. I don't know. I feel like I want to find a theme for walking you throughout our store.
What about weight-wise, or even how do you set the store up? Do you have it by yarn company, or do you have it by weight, or how is that set up?
Unfortunately, there's not really. There's some rhyme. Yeah, energy. I would say
that's
energy.
great. That's great. See, shame on me for only thinking there's one or the other. So it's energy. That's a great one.
Yeah. So we try to group them in weights,
yeah,
or in fiber.
Sure.
Because it's then easier to tell a customer, if you need a DK yarn, this is all around this area.
Makes
if you
sense.
need cotton yarn, this is all in this area. But and then within those, we group them within the company.
Yep.
And what we try to do is to hang on the wall the hand-dyed yarn, because you really do need to seal the whole skein.
Sure. Yep.
And do the ones that are more solid, or we're gonna walk out over.
Excellent.
And then put the more solid ones in the cubbies, and then you don't have to see the whole hand-dyed. So
That's
I don't know. Should we start at the start?
Wherever you want to start.
Yeah, let's start at the start.
Yeah.
So only because it's summer. I mean, you barely knows it now here in Windham.
Oh my gosh!
It's 60s.
Yeah,
it's in the 60s.
And is this normal temperature for this time of year or not?
I think this summer has been a little more cooler than I mean, it barely was a summer.
Yeah. We had a week of sun, I think, in July. But now we're ready for the fall.
Yeah.
I am underdressed. She's wearing a sweater.
So because it is the summer, we try to put up front the cottons, and so
okay.
And obviously build a display that is eye-catching. So this is our 100% cotton, and then all of the rest of our cottons are over there.
Very nice.
This is brand new. We just got it in last week, and we really wanted to put it up front. We learned that people, when they go in the store, they turn to the right.
Okay.
So that's why we put it right there.
Colors are fantastic.
I know.
So who is that?
Kelborn Woolens. They are from Pennsylvania.
Yep.
And we just started having their yarn. So we have the perennial and the minis, and then on the other side we have Andorra.
Okay.
And we honestly don't. I mean, I know it is. I believe it is woman owned. It's definitely independently owned, and we just love their blends. They're a little unusual or different than what we have, I guess, in our store. And the colors are gorgeous.
The colors are amazing.
Yeah.
Really, really nice. Now, we were in here a little earlier, just looking at a couple of things, and Jamie's eye was caught to this. Where do you have this yarn, or where is this?
Yeah. So Loopy Mango is also a local company.
Yep.
And they have this is made. They sent us these samples. So
Oh,
this,
did they?
yeah. Whenever
Yeah.
you get one of their lines, they'll send you a knitted sample that they've
Nice.
made.
Yep.
So this yarn is Mohair So Soft, which Zari is gonna show us where it is. Yeah, we only have a small amount of this because we've really focused on cottons.
See, Jamie, you're doing the shopping and filming at the same time.
It's going. Hey. It's mohair and merino. It's really fluffy. I have a sweater out of it.
It's gorgeous.
The most lightweight sweater that I think I've ever made. It also, for the first few weeks, it's also all around your place when you knit it. But it's just the cost of knitting something really, really soft and wispy. So, yeah.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And I made a lace sweater because it's very warm.
So again, because it's summer, we took down. So this is how we present our hand dyed yarn. It's hung, and
I love that. I think it's great. It's
Right?
fantastic. Yeah.
We were inspired by a yarn store that we used to go frequent when over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
In New York City, and we actually got these fixtures from them. These were, we believe, they were custom made for the previous yarn store owner because we can't get it anywhere. This
Yeah.
is what we got from her, and there's none to be gotten anywhere else.
Wow.
And what I love about it is that it really is hung in a way that you could really see. You don't have to take it out of a shelf. You don't
Yeah,
have
it's
to
great.
dig in. It's really there. You could pull it out, and then if you want to do some color work, you can pull it with other yarns. It's just really a beautiful way to display it. So right now we have the fingering weight down the bottom, and then
Mhm.
as you go up, it goes up in thickness. So this is DK weight, DK, just this little bit of sport weight right there.
Yep.
On the next section, we have our worsted weight down the bottom.
Okay.
Then, as I mentioned, this is out of order, but then we have fingering weight. But this is like a little woolly fingering weight.
Yeah.
It's either woolier yarn, or there's mohair, there's alpaca in there, there's merino singles. So it's less, I don't know if you can call fingering weight summery, but it's a little more woolly than the one down there. And then bulky yarn up on the top. And the wall across from us is all sock yarn
Okay.
on its different fiber contents, but it's all fingering weight sock yarn.
Very nice. So do you want to talk to us a little bit about who you have on your wall? Who made the wall of honor?
Who do we have here? We can start on this end. It's Cake. Cake is super local to us. She's in Socrates.
Yes.
It's about 40 minutes drive from here. We also know her because we have worked with her husband in the film industry.
Oh, wow.
So there's a little bit of a
that's
personal
great.
connection.
Cakepalooza,
We are
yes.
also going to be at Cakepalooza actually in October. So we're going to
Fantastic.
be there. Yeah.
Did you go last year?
Yeah,
Yep.
we were there last week. Yeah, you guys were there too, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we have a few of her lines. We have this one. We have down a little bit of her boucle left,
Mm-hmm.
and then her merino singles.
Yeah. Nice.
Then we have Camellia Fiber Company, who I feel like we've gotten her the first year we opened. And we love her. She dyes in
Nashville.
That's right,
Yeah.
Nashville. And again, we have this is. Do you remember what the blend? Alpaca.
It's alpaca merino silk. It's alpaca merino silk. This is actually discontinued. This is her plume. It's the last what we have of it. And it has an alpaca linen silk here. I love Camellia Fiber. First of all, she's the sweetest person. She just moved into a bigger studio, And then so I bought some hand spun yarn from her, a sweater's worth, just to help her, move. And it's gorgeous. So she's very talented. Her colors are all
I love them.
muted, and people are always drawn to her colors.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's great.
Even the labeling, it's very really
Yeah.
nice. Everything's so beautiful.
And then over here we have Murky Depth. She is local to us, in in the Hudson Valley. Her colors are deep and saturated. People love her colors. Debbie's also a great person. We have her DK, Superwash DK, and her Superwash sock yarn.
Yep.
And she usually vends at Indie Untangled,
Oh,
I
okay.
think. Yeah.
I noticed you've got a Canadian on the wall as well.
We have Julie Aslan. I met her, oh, 8 years ago
Oh,
in
wow.
Vogue Knitting. I took a dyeing class, and she came in to help. And she speaks a mile a minute.
Yep.
And I thought she was amazing, and we really connected. And so I always had her in my mind. And her colors are also really
Yeah.
deep and
She's
saturated.
Yeah.
And we also have some of her boucle, which I love. We can probably get to it later, but we have some of her boucle, which is just beautiful.
Yeah, very nice.
And then I think she called like a few days ago. No, like a few weeks ago. And I'm like, this must be Julie. So sweet, just a call saying hello. Oh, she's great.
That's wonderful.
And then on both sides, we have Neighborhood Fiber,
Yeah.
from Karita. She's from Baltimore, and she has great colors. She's a great company. Her ethics are great, and she's really easy to work with, which is a bonus.
Yeah, excellent. How do you choose? How do you decide who you're going to choose? What do you look for in a dyer?
For indie dyers,
Yes.
I don't know. I think May likes to pick. And we just go by the color. She's like, I need to have this. We need this right now. I'm like, okay, let's look at the budget. What do you say, May? How do you?
Yeah, I think that's accurate. If there is yarn that we feel like we want it in my
Yeah.
stats, then we get it for the store. And if we worked with it, if we have a running list
Sure.
of yarn dyers and yarn companies that we want to add. And then also, the nature of yarn is that if you get good quality yarn, it's a little more expensive, not
Yeah.
just for the customer, also for us.
Yeah.
So we sometimes can't get all the colors within a yarn line, or all the lines within a yarn company.
Sure.
And so we add them gradually.
Yep.
We can't really afford to buy all of Julie Aslan's lines and all of our colors, so we just do it as we go.
Yep. Great. Fantastic. So, can you talk about this?
Yeah. So this one is Chelsea. Chelsea Yarns used to own a local yarn store in New Jersey,
Mm-hmm.
and then she started dyeing her own yarn, and she became a sensation.
Yeah.
And she was also at Capepalooza last year
Yes.
with us, and we hope to see her again this year. And she's now closed her store during pandemic. She closed her store, not because she needed to, but because she chose to, so that she could go and pursue a career as a dyer. And she's doing wonderful.
I love this.
Yeah, we have quite a few customers, so this is how it knits
That
up.
is so. Wow.
And this is a swatch of one of our customers that made this sweater.
Wow.
And it's just like a great texture. It's warm. The colors are great. You can make a simple sweater without worrying about it being interesting, because the texture and the color itself is really interesting.
I think, Jamie, this one keeps calling my name every time I walk by it in the store.
Then we have Plucky Knitter, which we learned about them through festivals. They used to be festival only, and their colors are legendary. They have insane numbers of colors and of yarn lines, and it's a luxury brand. So they are always very desirable in the festival whenever you go to a festival. And then pandemic hit and there were no festivals, and so we reached out to them, just hoping that they'll be interested in selling to us. And then turns out that that's what they were going towards,
Sure.
a wholesale model, which worked for us because then we got a few of their lines. We got this. This is Rambouillet.
Yes, Rambouillet. Yes.
Rambouillet.
Yep.
And I've seen your program about it,
Oh,
and I've
yes.
learned so much.
Oh,
It was
thanks,
great. Whatever.
Jamie.
Yeah, I thank Jamie. Thank you so much for educating me.
I was actually going to ask you about the Rambouillet because you don't see it a lot in stores, so it's great to see it here, and I've noticed it over here as well. It's fantastic.
So
Great.
Zaire spins. She's a spinner. We have
Yep.
a really small selection of her
Oh, yes.
hand dyed yarn that she spun on her own, and which is spun out of the Kim dyes yarn that we see right there,
Yeah.
the braids, and because she spins, she's she knows more about fiber than me. But I've always liked breed specific yarns.
Sure.
I understand the comfortability of superwash and the smoothness of it, and the softness of it, but I do love rustic yarn and I like texture in yarn.
Sure.
So that's why we try as much as we can to get fibers that you may not find in other yarn
Yep.
stores.
Great. You've got a great selection here.
Thank
Really nice.
you.
A great selection of different weights of yarn, but also the colors too. You've got so many. You've got the muted colors over there. You've got the neon colors, bright colors here. It's something for everybody.
Yeah, we kind of joke and say that whenever a customer comes in, we want them to never leave without buying something, and then if they do, we would like for them to tell us what it was that
Yeah.
they were looking for, so that we can get it for them for next time. So obviously, you can't always. We did have a customer that came in and asked for a safety orange to make her husband a hat,
Yes.
and safety orange, outside of that reason, really hard to sell.
Yeah.
So we're not going to get everything, but we will do our best.
I will say though, I think it was last year or the year before, safety orange. A lot of people you're seeing it a lot more. I think Brooklyn Boy Knits
Yes.
did a cap or a hat in it, and then it appeared in socks and everything else. So
Yeah.
it's funny how colors just, everybody is attracted to them at some point. But
Yeah, colors do have a season.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like the brights came out of just in the recent. I can't put a date on it, but it's just recent years that we've been seeing these kind of like neon brights.
Yep. Can you talk a little bit about Kim dyes?
Sure.
I see Kim all over the place. She's got beautiful stuff.
She does, and again, another bonus is that she's really wonderful to work with.
Yeah.
And so Kim, we met her at Vogue Knitting 2019, January 2019. We went to Vogue Knitting to scout for some more hand dyers that we weren't familiar with, and she was there. We were immediately attracted to her sparkle sock yarn, which is right there.
Yes.
And her colorways. And then we just love it. It's so unique. You really can't see it anywhere else.
Yeah.
And so so we have her. She's from Virginia, and she is and she really is wonderful to work with. And as I mentioned, these are the braids of fiber that
Yeah,
we carry.
beautiful.
And also, she's so lovely to work with that last year when we went to Cake Palooza, we asked her to make a colorway for our store. And so she created this beautiful, both in sock and in mohair.
Nice.
And it's called the Knitting Room, the name of the
Very nice.
colorway. And it's inspired by our backyard. So the colors are inspired by our backyard.
Beautiful.
So we have a pretty great relationship with her.
That's terrific.
Another great company that we love working with is Seventh Floor Yarn, which are again very, very local to New York. It's in Westchester,
Yep.
which is just above the Bronx. And it's a mother-daughter team who are hand dyeing. We have their 50-50 merino and cotton, which when you touch it, you can barely tell. It's so soft and so nice.
Oh, wow.
and their colorways are gorgeous. We also in the past had to
Oh, that's
match a color, and their recipes must be so good that it really did match.
oh, that's something.
Yeah,
That's
and
great.
so we love them. And this is more of our Julie Aslan, the boucle,
Yep,
and this is the Camellia Fibers Surrey Alpaca.
that's great. Fantastic. One thing we didn't talk about was this space over here.
Right. So as I mentioned, there was a yarn store that we used to go to in the city many,
Yep,
many years ago, and they had a cafe section, which was the best
yep,
because you could just meet people there, whether or not they were knitters. You could just spend your time in a place where nobody's going to look at you crooked because you're knitting,
yep.
and you can have a coffee. This in this area, so when we were thinking about opening our knitting cafe, obviously that was in our mind, but then when we opened this place, it became a necessity because there's really nothing around here for food or drink,
Sure.
and we had to have it even just for ourselves.
Yep.
So yeah, people
Great
like
idea.
to spend the afternoon here. They come with their knitting, which we always say, did you bring your knitting? Or crochet or spinning or whatever
Yep.
it is, because you should plan to stay here an hour or two when you come
Oh,
to visit.
fantastic. And so people sit over here in this area over here?
Yes,
Yep. And so do you have classes?
we do have classes. We have a wonderful teacher that teaches on the days we're open, the hours we're open. You
Yep.
can schedule her anytime. She's board certified. So
Oh,
how
wow.
rare is that?
Yeah, geez.
So lucky. And she's really a genius.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Her knowledge, her techniques. We're so lucky. We were looking for a teacher, but really, how do you look for a teacher? And then she just walked in one day and she said, "Hi, I'm moving into the area and I'm a knitting instructor." And I literally told her, "Where have you been? We've been waiting. Where have you been?" So
Great.
we're so lucky to have her.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
We have other things that are not just knitting related,
Yep.
but are connected to knitting.
Sure.
So we carry Tuft. We met them last year when we were at Cake Palooza. They were the booth next to us.
Mhm.
Zaire was selling at Cake Palooza and she fell in love with us. So they make
Oh,
handmade soaps,
nice.
and this is hand balm.
Yep.
It just comes in this like cute little thing, and they have these. So we carry them. We carry Beekman, which is are you familiar with
I've heard the
Beekman?
name. Yeah.
They're in the Adirondacks.
Yep.
And they have a whole line um, of goat milk
Yep.
cosmetics.
I have one of these too. They're
You
handy.
do?
Yeah, they're handy.
Yes, we love those. Yeah, we try to get whatever is related to knitting, because some people, when they come to our yarn store, they really want to go to the yarn store, but they do have a lot of stash.
Sure.
And so they don't necessarily want to buy more yarn, but they do want to buy something. And so if it's something that is like a bracelet or a bowl, a yarn bowl, whatever, something, that's how.
Or a bag.
Or a bag, yeah. Or stitch markers.
Did we talk about this?
No.
I was going to ask about this bag.
Okay.
Oh my God, I love this bag.
This is a bag from our dear friend Kayla. Kayla is how me and May met. Kayla was a costume designer. I've known Kayla for about 15 years. And May came on as an additional on our movie. And so Kayla is so creative. Because of her, like, there's money from the shows we worked on in this store. And because of her, I have like a small house. Anyway, so she's very creative, and she made a few bags. This is Knit Queen.
Yep, love it.
And then she has a Crochet Queen. Is it? Where is it? Well, she has a Craft Queen, which has a glue gun, because a glue gun is the best thing to have. And then
That's
Crochet Queen. And so they are crocheting like a mandala or something.
That is great.
And so she's very creative.
That's terrific.
Very talented.
Very nice.
And then I wanted to say one more thing about, maybe not on camera, but maybe about the Tuft wool, the Tuft soap all has lanolin in it, so it's a sock soap. So you can use a bar of soap and you can wash your socks and it puts lanolin into it. So
Nice.
um, all of the tins and all of the balms all have lanolin, and that really makes your hands feel soft. It makes your wool feel soft, and it's an alternate if you don't want to use like a liquid soap.
Sure. Fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if people want to get a hold of you or find out more about you, where do they find you?
Okay, so social media is our main source of contact with people, and it's the Knitting Room NY,
Yep.
both on Instagram, on Facebook, and on TikTok, which I do my
Excellent.
best trying to get more followers. We are in Windham, New York.
Yep.
And so obviously, if you travel from Canada, then you can always travel through us anywhere you go in New York.
Yep.
Definitely, if you're coming to Rhinebeck, Sheep and Wolf, and you can definitely stop by us because we are about an hour north of it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about,
Excellent.
it's like, I think 54 minutes to Rhinebeck, Sheep and Wool, 54.
Excellent.
We also have a website. All of our inventory is on the website, and we do update it almost immediately when we get new inventory. So really it's us. But honestly, I think being in the store is the real experience.
Absolutely. And this is such a gorgeous area.
Yes.
The mountains are stunning. It's just beautiful. Just really nice.
Yeah, the drive never disappoints.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for agreeing to have the interview. And thanks for welcoming us into the store as well. It's beautiful. I love it. It's got such a wonderful, it kind of does feel like a general store-ish kind of thing. You know, the lighting that you have here and, you know, the way that you've displayed the yarn. I've never seen anybody display yarn like that before. And I'm glad you explained why you do that, because you get to see the entire skein.
Yeah.
I think it's fantastic. So this is great. What a wonderful experience.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And Jamie, thank you for filming.
Yes, Jamie, thank you so much.
So
go.
what?
Huh?
You go ahead.
Who's on first? Okay.
You are.
I love the store. One of the things I loved about the store was the display that they had of all of the yarn, all the indie dyers up there. You could see the whole skein. I love the way they displayed it.
And the setting was beautiful because they mentioned how the river runs through it. Well, not
a
through
river
it,
runs through it.
right behind.
That was a really
beautiful setting.
Yeah.
And it's quite popular because they do get a lot of traffic through there and locals, and a lot of people have, that's their sort of home away from home getaway area.
Yes. Yeah.
And so they flock to the shop, and they have, and then what I love about any shop that has an area where you could just, the community comes together, sit around, chat, they all get to know each other with the common link of fiber.
And they also
have a coffee shop.
How did you know I was going to say that? There's a coffee shop. What a smart idea to have a coffee shop and a yarn shop. In. Yes, that was great. They have a coffee shop there, so you could sit, have a coffee or tea.
I did,
and you did too, as well. Yep,
I had a wonderful latte.
So did we go shopping there?
You picked up a thing or two, and maybe even I did.
Yes. Well, I mean, it had to be good if Jamie picks some yarn up.
Well,
and have you noticed now that I think the frequency of you purchasing yarn
that's crazy.
There's an uptick in the frequency of you purchasing
Why
yarn.
is it almost every other episode or 3 or 4?
I know.
I've made a purchase.
I know. And you were a virgin.
But I have a
short time ago.
See, here's the difference. I have a purpose with it. It's not just, this is pretty, I'm going to hang it on the wall like a dusty old picture. I'm going to use it.
We all buy yarn that way, Jamie.
I know. You do. You all do. I know that.
We never buy anything just because it feels good and it looks good.
And
we always have a
nice
project
in my
mind.
display case. I don't know.
That's why I don't have anything left in my yarn stock. It's all been knitted up.
Like a stuffed bird in a cage just because you could have it there.
Okay. So let's look at what we bought.
Let's.
Do you want to go first, or should I go first?
You're right.
Well, when you put yarn in front of me, I'm going to hold on to it. Okay, I love this.
I love it.
It's Chelsea Lux. So Chelsea yarn. She was at Kickapalooza last year, I believe. This is mohair 72% kid mohair, 28% silk.
That makes it soft.
Only the best. This is gorgeous. And this, you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me, what, Christopher? What does it remind you of? It reminds me of a pheasant.
Oh, that's a good description.
It reminds me
because
of a
there is
pheasant.
a pheasant just on the wall back there.
Yes.
Speaking of stuffed birds, that's kind of funny.
I know, that's what it reminded me of. And I loved it. It feels comforting, homey, and it feels like our cabin.
Yeah, it's very rustic. The colors are very rustic.
Yeah.
I love, oh my God, that's like Minou. Do you know what Minou is? It's French for
Meow.
pussycat.
Meow.
But you'll show that close up because those colors are stunning. I don't know if that picks them up well. You'll show it close up.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. And I love that softness.
Meow.
Oh my gosh, now I'm going to have cat ears. As one does.
Meow. Yeah, this is
Stop
great.
that.
Okay. And I'm not going to talk about this yet because I want to talk about, you need to talk about your
Okay.
first.
I have two big balls
Well, we know that.
of wool. This is a family show. Thank you very much.
Well, you're the one who said it.
No, I have them right here.
You're also a size
Ooh
queen.
la
now.
la. Ooh la la. Okay. Do you see a common thread with the last one I showed you? Big, as in super chunky, bulky, fatty,
Yes.
fatty wool again. And again, pink is one of my new favorite colors. And then this green. I'm not doing these combined because remember these are just for the brim of the hat, or the bottom half of the hat is the fatty wool. So I will pair this up with one of ours or something else that we have, back there just hanging on the wall. And same with this, I'll pair it up with something else. So yeah, they're both merino. So yeah, 100% merino. Mostly I got it for the color and the fattiness because you don't see that many super bulky or super chunky fatty wool.
But you don't. And so, and I'm glad you mentioned that because even without the label, you'd kind of know who this is.
Yes, of course I would. Tell us more, Christopher.
Well, it's Loopy Mango.
Oh, Loopy Mango.
And they do a great job. And so
I didn't even mention that. Of course.
I know.
Okay, yes. I know.
Yeah.
I know them only because when we were in a shop in north of Montreal,
yes,
our friend
yeah,
Amelie
yeah,
at Wool, what's it called?
Wool.
That I remember picking up the Loopy Mango book.
Yes.
And so, yes, now it is familiar to me.
Okay, now your color choice is very interesting. Would you like to explain that?
Why? I just
Well,
did
how
it.
often do you see?
I already did. I said
you
they're
didn't-
not going to. These are not going together.
I know. Oh, you're not knitting them together.
What did I tell you? This one doesn't listen to me.
I was still thinking about this.
He was thinking about his
Okay.
next.
So, well, then to explain to me because I wasn't
What?
paying attention to you in the store then. So, why did you pick those two
thought-
colors?
No,
No.
I love them both. Pink's my new
Oh,
favorite.
but they're
I
going to
love
be two
the
different
green.
separate projects.
Two different hats.
Okay.
Two different hats.
But then, okay, and then you bought the Malabrigo from the Sheep Nest. Is that going to go with one of these?
no,
Okay.
doesn't listen. But you all know what I'm talking about because we already went through it. Thank you.
Okay.
And what else did you get?
Last question I want to ask is this the pattern that's in your head right now? Does that have anything to do with this? Yarn?
That's what I said.
Okay.
Fatty.
So
fatty
we're talking about three
wool
different hats.
for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are for the bases because we didn't have any of this anywhere.
What about the pink on pink?
No, I don't like it.
Okay.
That's not creative enough.
Okay, excellent.
Why are you trying to make up my pattern?
No,
for
because
me?
when I was in the store, I was shopping.
Oh my God.
My 2 cents with, and I'm glad you didn't listen to me in the store because my 2 cents for you was looking at colors that would go together to make
you're
a
trying to
hat.
match.
I
them
didn't know you
together,
were
but
doing two separate
No,
hats.
the other ones I didn't use the same wool for
Right.
the
Use different.
body of the hat.
Yeah.
Or this was just to give it. Imagine if you're just to knit a headband, right?
Yeah.
Where does the headband sit?
on
And
your
that's the
head.
part that keeps
Yeah.
your head warm.
Yeah.
Not so much this. It's this. Your
Sure.
ears freeze and your forehead. You know, if you've got an exposed forehead or a lot of it, it gets quite cold. So this is for that part. And then you could use any other wool with this. I just have used, maybe a bulky, not a super bulky.
Yeah.
Or I think I used like a worsted that was a little fatter than your average worsted.
Right.
And I doubled it up because I want to specifically use a different wool
Sure.
that matches this.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you have it all sorted?
I have it all
now?
sorted. Your sorted balls. I
I'm
have
hoping that
sorted
my-
out your balls.
I'm hoping that I think my friends got it, but more importantly, does Cabin Boy Knit get it?
Well, Cowboy knits.
Yeah, you. I
Yeah.
did singular.
I know. It's like,
Okay, big balls, happy,
you
fun,
can tell we
fuzzy,
just came back from a trip.
fuzzy, fun.
We're all discombobulated.
A little
Okay,
bit.
the last thing was I saw something on.
Not the last, just the last thing from the store.
Yeah, the last thing from the store. Yes, the last thing. Thank you for that. I didn't want everybody to run away.
Exactly.
So this one is Knit Queen. So I thought this would be great for Jamie.
The Knit Queen, I know, I love it. And what do you have here? Well, we'll show it close up.
Yeah. So, oh yeah, that's even. I wasn't even going to talk about that.
Well, that was the whole point of the bag. She's knitting.
So it's a Queen of Hearts, and she is knitting.
And I love that they have the dual, because it's got the upside down queens, but the four hands are holding their sample.
Yes.
Or what do you call that when you knit the?
Yeah, this is a
That
foreign.
that
This
thing
is
you
a
don't
foreign
do?
word to you.
That thing I don't
Yeah,
do.
a swatch.
Oh yeah, they're holding the swatch. Are they knitted? Oh no, they both have. Oh, they're knitting at either end.
Yeah.
They're both knitting at
So that's it
either end.
upside down.
They're knitting.
Based on the size of the balls that you purchased, you should be size queen. That's on yours. You've changed. Anyway, the person who designed this was in the film industry, and she was a friend of Zyrie's, and she made this as well.
Yeah, they have fantastic bags, and
Yeah,
the designs
beautiful.
are wonderful.
So if you are ever in Wyndham, New York, highly recommend going to the yarn shop. It is fantastic. They've got a great selection of yarn. That was the other thing I wanted to mention. Just they are very, very good at curating the yarn shop.
Yes.
We also saw a Canadian there as well, Julie Aslan. Her yarn is there.
Yes.
And a customer. I'm not
She
going
was
to name the
being-
customer. I'm going to be
She was
discreet.
being very low key and just, she was in the store for a long time, just doing her, shopping, checking out wool, blah, blah, blah. But the whole time she knew who you were.
Well, but she wasn't certain because she said I wasn't wearing clothes. So she.
Oh, that's right. Her comment was, I thought you might be Cabin Boy Knits, but I'm used to seeing you without clothes. It's like, yes, that's the one.
Yeah, I think I blushed a little bit.
I think you blushed a lot.
A lot of it. I blushed
But it
a
was
lot of
hysterical. She's just been very, a little coy and a little, just letting us do her thing. Because we were going through the store
Yeah.
while she was shopping, and we caught her in there a couple of times. So it was interesting that whole time she may have wanted to say hello, but she did. And it was nice, very nice. It's nice to run into unexpectedly. You could be in the middle of, like we were, in the middle of Wyndham, New York. Is that where we're still in New York?
Yes.
And and someone just go, hey, that's really nice and very special. And it's always very surprising.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
Okay.
So after all of those fun events in the Catskills, we headed to the Poconos for a week of relaxation.
Yes. And it was relaxing.
It was very relaxing. And do you want to talk more about it?
Well, what's there to talk about?
That we relaxed. Did you want to talk about what we did?
Sure.
Okay. So
Some of it.
Yeah. So it was a naturist place. And so we went there last year and it was amazing. And that's a perfect place for a natural dyer.
Absolutely. And you had a couple of fellow knitters there.
Yes.
One you had met before.
Yep.
Who remembers you from the men's knitting retreat as well.
Yes.
And then the weaver, who you purchased something from last year, and he had some beautiful wares.
Yes.
And also, there happened to be a performance stage, and we saw a couple of fun performances by a lot of people.
So here's the part that I find interesting. You go for a week at a naturist resort, and we have 5 suitcases in the back.
I knew where that was going. Yes, because they have theme nights, and you have to wear, if it's there was a white ball. It was supposed to be like white. What was it like? I
Heaven.
don't remember. Heaven, exactly.
Yes.
Heaven, and then there were themes each night. So
Yes.
they could be color themes or just themes that there was the good, the bad, and the ugly, which you could think Clint Eastwood movie, or you could literally, some were just as good, some were just as bad, evil.
Yeah.
And there were a few uglies. In costume.
on purpose.
In costume on purpose,
Yes.
just as something.
Yeah.
frightening.
But I think that the fiber, you got into this, the fiber community was very well represented.
Yeah.
And in some of the creative outfits that were made, or even, they had a street sale one day at the camp, and there were a lot of, as you just mentioned, a lot of great fiberists there. Macrame was represented. You said weaving, like a lot of great yarn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the talent shows were fun and entertaining.
Yes.
I saw things I'd never seen before. Some roller skating diva, I don't even know.
Well, yeah, Bluebell Bijou showed up. Maybe she was tucked in our trunk on the way across the border, but she made 3 appearances.
I think she followed us there.
She was they had Snatch Game, which is kind of like Hollywood Squares, and they had a
Variety
She was in a
show.
variety show doing roller skating for the first time ever in the history of the whole place, which was amazing. Yes, I know you said that. And then there was a Miss Lace contest.
Yes, there was.
Phenomenal.
And they were fun to watch.
Something for everyone. Something always going on, and I'm exhausted.
We just got back last night.
So while we were there,
early evening. Yes.
While we were there, we popped out for the day and went to visit Flying Fibers Lavender and Sheep Farm.
Yes. And we've met before.
Yes. Yeah.
And so that was on the to-do list. We were going to do that prior to when the Catskill concert event popped up.
Yeah.
So we sort of
We
had
did
to rejig
reschedule.
how we wanted to do this. But we thought, midweek we'll take a nice little break. It'll be perfect because we're so close in the area. We thought we're doing it because that was part of the original plan.
Yes.
So it was a little bit further past our destination, but for a day trip, it was fine. So off we went to the sheep farm.
And I was so excited about this trip because when you go to Rhinebeck or other big places, other festivals, they don't have to be big festivals, but I'm always going to Flying Fibers to check out their yarn. I love it.
Yes.
I love their yarn, and I want to support farms like that too.
And you also love Shetland sheep.
And I love Shetland sheep as well.
So
yes,
there was a bit of both there.
Yes.
So it was a must-go-to destination.
Absolutely. Why don't we show everyone?
Yeah, let's have a look.
We are in beautiful Wrightsville, Pennsylvania. It's absolutely gorgeous here in the country. And we are at Flying Fibers. Flying Fibers is a fantastic farm. I've purchased yarn from them before and I've always wanted to visit. And now is our time to visit. So let's go. Hello.
Hello, Chris. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you so much.
And
It's
who do we
nice
have
to
here?
see you.
Nice to see you.
Hello, I'm Jerry from Flying Fibers. And Irina is over there with the baby, Ksenia.
It's so nice to
So-
see you again.
It's nice to see you.
And
Welcome,
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. It was nice seeing you in festivals, but it's even better to be here.
isn't it?
Yeah.
It's our
So
little-
excited.
Our home.
Do you mind taking us on a tour?
Absolutely.
That's
Be
great.
happy to do so.
This place
So-
is gorgeous in here.
Thank you. You know already, but we're very excited that we moved here about 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And the Amish built the building, and then my husband and I fitted it out, which was new to us. So we've got a lot of reclaimed wood and reclaimed floor.
Oh, wow.
So as much as we could recycle, we did.
Yep. Beautiful.
So, thank you. So I'm going to start over here. We have our own sheep. We have about 44, 45 sheep. Leicester Longwool, North American Wensleydale, and Shetland.
Oh, wow.
Which my good friend Tammy White of Wing and a Prayer Farm,
Yep.
she got me hooked on the Shetlands.
Oh, jeez.
They're like potato chips. You can't have one. You just keep going. So this first rack here, we keep our own yarns by name of sheep and by kind,
Okay.
by breed. So we don't dye these. We keep
Yep.
them naturally colored because we used to dye them and then people would say, well, I want Rowan in color X.
Sure.
And it's like, well, you got to wait a year.
Yeah.
You know, wasn't going to happen. So now we primarily leave them their natural colors. We do work with a local alpaca farm.
Yep.
And so we do bring in their fiber, but other than that, it's pretty much ours. That's actually Rowan and Monica. That is 2 black North American Wensleydale sheep.
Oh,
The
nice.
black can be pitch black
Yep.
or grayish or reddish. And they're getting up there in age too. So it
Very
goes that
nice.
way. So then this whole aisle before the end there, this we decided, because we were keeping everything natural in our yarns from our own sheep, that color's my favorite thing, and that's what I really love, is to dye.
Sure.
So we said, well, what are we going to do? How do we get color? So we decided to have our own yarn manufactured. So we import the fiber from England, and Wensleydale was the first sheep that I fell in love with 30 years ago.
And
I
why
keep
is
looking
that?
to my daughter.
Why is that?
Oh, I went to England to visit my husband's family, and I found a cardigan in a yarn store, and it was shiny and it was silky and it had weight to it.
Yes. Yeah.
And they had no yarn. They only had the finished cardigan. So I drooled over it all week. It would fit all of us. It's too big. I didn't care. At the end of the week, I bought it anyway. So then I hunted for the sheep. And in the mid 2000s, when I look that way, I apologize. I'm looking at my daughter for a refresher of my memory. We bought our first 3 North American Wensleydale sheep. And because you can't just, they didn't exist in this country. So they came here in the mid 90s, and you had to use artificial insemination.
Yeah.
So 3 different breeds here, and then artificial, whole kit and caboodle. Sadly, we've discovered that our climate is not very good for breeding them. So I will always have them, but we no longer breed.
Sure.
So but if they're doing their job, we have a parasite that gets problematic.
Oh.
So we decided, okay, we know how to have our own yarn made. Let's make our own brand. So Yorkshire Medley is what Irina calls our long wool leap. So it is a blend of English Wensleydale and blue-faced Leicester.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So
wow.
the blue-faced Leicester gives it some loft and softness.
Yes. Yeah.
And the Wensleydale gives it strength, luster, and durability.
Yeah.
So we now have our Yorkshire Medley in 16 colors and white, or natural, and DK weight. So that went over well. So we decided, well, let's make another weight. So we also have it in fingering weight, and that's only in 6 or 8 colors. We do all the dyeing here on the farm. We use acid dyes because of the amount that we have to. I actually started as a natural dyer, but had to switch to the acid dyes. All the samples that you see up here are knit with our Yorkshire Medley yarns. And we have a wonderful friend, Rachel Brockman, who's the lead designer for Universal Yarns. And she loves to work with long wools.
Yeah. So
she loves to design with our yarns. So there's one sweater I'll show you that she actually got into Lane magazine.
Oh, geez. Oh, wow.
Very fortunate. Very fortunate. That was a big highlight for us. So these are all those colors. And then back in the day when they were called destination stores, we're a Brooklyn Tweed destination store.
Yep.
So starting from here all the way over are Brooklyn Tweed yarns. And we like that they're transparent and we give back to the community.
Yeah. And breed specific.
Breed specific.
Yep.
And very different than our long wools.
Yeah.
So, and then on this side, you have some more English products, some hand dyes by me, and then a local company called Kelborn Woolens out of Philadelphia. So we have some of theirs too. And this is their entirely American Germantown yarn.
How far are you from Philadelphia?
Just 80 miles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's not that far at all.
Not that far at all.
Hour and a half to 2 hours.
This is pretty much local.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we would call that local. And where they reside was a woolen industry back in the day, very early on. The Germantown from the 80s is that yarn.
Oh, wow.
So as you come around here then, this is our newest commercial yarn that we have. This is the sweater that was in Lane magazine.
That is gorgeous.
And yes, designed by our friend Rachel Brockman. And
Beautiful.
this yarn is really different. If you give it a feel, it gets softer and softer as you knit it. It's more rustic than our other because it's it's English Wensleydale with Manx Lockton.
Oh my gosh!
So
wow.
Manx Lockton is a brown sheep from the Isle of Man, also rare breed.
Yeah.
And so when it's blended with the English Wensleydale, this is the natural that I get.
Jeez.
So then when I dye it, I get all these
That
fabulous
is
colors.
fantastic.
And they almost look like a heather, even though it's not heathered.
that's
it's
exact-
just
yeah.
the way the two yarns come together. So
Beautiful. And what weight would
this is worsted.
Worsted weight.
So that we now cover DK, fingering, and worsted.
That is gorgeous.
And some different samples. This is a Jennifer Steingass pattern
Yes.
with it.
Yep. Oh, absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you. And to cater to those who like to knit for babies, we do have Appalachian baby design for our cottons. They're from Virginia, and it's also a mother-daughter team. And the only acrylic that sneaks into the store is from Kramer Yarns. I was like, how did I forget that? They're in Nazareth, Pennsylvania. So they're Pennsylvania. They're our last large-scale woolen mill, and they use American wool. So it's in a wool and acrylic, and it's washable.
How cute is this? Oh my gosh.
Isn't that adorable?
Jeez,
yeah.
That's adorable.
And they employ women in Appalachia to make the samples, which is really nice,
that's nice.
too. So we like them for that. Over here, these are our sock yarns primarily. So this is brand new. I debuted this week. It's 100% no wool sock yarn. And so it is merino. It is superwash. It's the only superwash we have. We tend to be a little bit wool snobby.
Yep.
But people want something that they can wash for their socks.
Sure.
So feel that it's got a really
oh wow,
quite a tight spin.
Yeah,
so
it
it's
does.
nice and springy.
Yep.
So these are called our Susquehanna sock because we're near the Susquehanna River. Susquehanna sock collection, and all the names are named after the area, historically, activities. And if you were from here, you'd immediately say, what motorcycle company? You're not even from here.
Yeah, Harley Davidson.
Harley Davidson is a local company. So this is, bike week. So pig iron is a metal that was made here. Riverside. Herons, we have a lot of herons that go by, so the colors are all named that way.
Very nice.
We had a fabulous dyer called Knittin' Bro. Sadly, he's no longer dyeing. Some more English yarns, sock yarns, traditional, and then Plied was a line from Baltimore, Maryland that we kept for a while. We carry Chowgu needles.
Yep.
In both the stainless steel and the bamboo. And we also have a lot of spinning fibers, a lot from England, some of the rare breeds. And we also have 500 lavender plants.
Well, I was noticing the lavender here.
Yeah, popping and hanging in corners.
Yep.
And so, yes, we have 500 lavender plants. So we do have our own lavender products.
And so
the lavender all started because it's a natural moth repellent, and we have for years been using, soaps with some lavender essential oils to wash all of our wool, just to sort of, keep the pests away and stuff. And so we used to make soaps with lavender in it for the shop as cash grab items, this, that, and the other thing. And then in 2021, my mom decided that this was her big post-COVID adventure. So she went, because there were still a bunch of COVID precautions and regulations in place, she went to an online US lavender growers conference.
Oh, wow.
And she was like, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start small. So to be a lavender farm in the country, so in the country, you have to have over 100 lavender plants to be considered a lavender farmer. They're very small though, and they don't need a lot of space. So she's like, well, I'll just get 150 to start. But not the problem, but the funny thing is so then her and my dad were the ones that had to plant all of these because our shop in Lancaster County that we were at for 12 some years was still open, and so I was running it with the customers. So then, you know, not like my my parents, who are not as spry. Yes, my elderly parents, they're not elderly, but not quite as spry as they once were. They're out here with like a huge like motorized auger digging like these 150 holes on the hillside that people now park in front of. And yeah, so the first year you don't let them do anything because you want them to establish the roots just like any plant, you know. So we, trimmed them down, and then we had moved the shop to here. So I was like, all right, lavender season, let's go. She's like, yeah, so I might have ordered like another like 150 just to like replace, because you can get a lot of loss with lavender. Like sometimes they don't winter well. Sometimes they winter great, as all of ours did. So then we planted like another 150. And then this season, and we harvested, and it was beautiful and it was wonderful. And like what it does for the pollinators is just fantastic. And then this year she was like, so in case everything dies over winter, I like pre-ordered 270. And I was
Sounds like something I'd do.
Right. So yeah, so 270 plants, and so now we have about 500 in the ground. And yeah, that's just sort of,
that's fantastic.
Yeah, and so we have 8 different varieties. So we have some culinary, which we use in our products here, but a lot of the stuff we either harvest the buds for sachets, or we sell the bundles, or we do like oil infusions. So we like infuse the lavender buds into the oils that we use to make like our lotions and our lip balms and our soaps and stuff. So you get sort of the more like apothecary style, like medicinally thing. But yeah, it's it just sort of kept going from that point.
That's great.
So yeah.
Fantastic.
Yes.
It was also an add-on for summer.
Yes.
Yo, sure. Yeah, yeah.
People don't always knit with wool year round, right? So it was good. And we're part of the, they're called York County Trail Towns. So we can get people in who are not necessarily crafters or wool people. And so it's nice to be like, oh, well, I'll just get a bar of soap or something. So we did this thing called the Susquehanna Holiday Trail, and we sold and made so much soap. It was like we were like having to like make new soap like every day just to like keep up. It was wonderful, but it was also like, holy Hannah. So yeah,
that's
it was
wonderful.
Good. Yeah,
this is a fantastic shop. It's great.
You.
I saw it online, but even seeing it in person is even more impressive.
Oh, thank you.
It's absolutely wonderful.
And it does have air conditioning.
Yeah,
I noticed that
air
too,
conditioning and heat.
Yes, very important.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So we're open year round.
Excellent.
And the sheep can be seen out the window. We're a little dry right now, so it's they're out back. But yeah. You get to
the
see
sheep
all
are out
the
back?
Yeah, we can go see them.
Show you the sheep.
That's excellent. Do you want to do a tour of the sheep?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Let's go see some sheep.
So the sheep that you're seeing, you can now, yeah, I know, mommy's here. You can see why I fell in love with the Shetland. They come in 11 different colors and 30 plus patterns. So people say, well, what's that sheep? What's that sheep? And like, they're all Shetlands.
Yeah.
Except there's a big guy over here. You'll see him when we go in. That's my North American Wensleydale. There is one Leicester. She's over. Nope, that's not her. She must be behind. She's on that side. Leicester is back there, and there is one Leicester and Shetland cross.
Okay.
So, and then our geese are Sebastopol geese. So it's really kind of wonderful. Everybody gets along here.
I was going to ask that.
Yeah,
that's
can
great.
People do that? So, baby chicks will be running around, and somebody said, well, there's a cat there. I said, yes. The cats, the birds, the sheep,
that's
the
wonderful.
geese all get along really well. Oh, you see some babies under the chicken.
I saw the babies. Do you see the babies, Jamie, underneath the house?
And
you
then
get
here,
them from
that's a little baby too. And the only downside of just letting them free range is you don't get purebred chickens anymore, but we have rare breed chickens too, and the
Yep.
Sebastopols are rare breed as well. And you'll notice the one is all curly feathered. That's a breed. She's the one over there behind the laying down bird.
Okay. Yep.
And
Yep.
they're both curly or straight. If you get rid of the straight for some reason, you never get curlies anymore.
Oh.
So come on in.
And then-
So
Oh
hello,
my
girls.
gosh.
So we had quite the ram year. So a lot of the babies are rams. So, but you see, they still love their mommies. But look, he's
Yes.
almost just born in late. I think he was born in Maryland Sheep and Wool Festival weekend.
Oh, really?
And yeah, we call him Kid Stone because my husband had kidney stones at the time.
Oh,
So he's Kid Stone. He's moving to New England.
Mhm.
And so, but you see, he was with the black and white girl here, and his father had a lighter underbelly, but came out all black except one white sock
Yep.
here.
Oh, that's
Is
so
that a
inter-
riot?
Yeah,
And
that's
we
great.
ended up with a lot of black. This is Harold behind you. Harold was the curly.
Oh no, same dad.
Same dad. So, and he was with her sister. No, yes. So another one that looks
Look
like a
at
cow. Well, hello,
Oh.
beautiful.
She's my last
This
one.
is, yes. And
You
she
are beautiful.
is a delight.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so nice.
And they love graham crackers.
Oh,
Hi.
wow. You are
how
beautiful.
you?
Yeah, she's a good girl.
Yes, she's just absolutely delightful. Her wedding present, but I kind of take over. And she's still small. They take 3 years to grow to full size.
Okay.
Because they're rare breed.
Yeah.
So I think that's why
gorgeous.
people gave up on the rare breeds, is if they were going to make money,
Yeah,
they wanted to grow them fast.
sure.
But we're a wool farm primarily. Here's another baby, and if you can get your hands in his wool.
Oh,
You're okay.
Wow.
Isn't that spectacular?
Oh my God.
And also
This
look
is
what
gorgeous.
the Shetlands do. So they'll have another color underneath.
Yeah.
So he was dark
Orange
chocolate
brown.
brown, almost that color. And now he's fading out. But you'll still get a variation
That is
from the
beautiful.
inside. Well, hello. She's like, give me more cookies. Isn't that heavenly?
Oh, it's just beautiful.
And
Just beautiful.
Shetlands are known for having a diverse fleece
Yeah.
on the same body. So you
Oh,
can get
wow.
a real fine, and she's not a good example of the diversity, but then you can get a longer staple on the breech, but
Yeah.
she's pretty nice overall. Yes.
Look at you.
She's like, do you have a treat? And Rowan, here's the big guy. He's actually, he goes to Rhinebeck.
Yeah.
And in
Oh
the
my
breed
gosh.
barn, the educational barn,
Yeah.
he's the breed ambassador for the North American Wensleydale.
Gorgeous.
Because he's so
Look
sweet.
at those.
So if he was an
locks.
intact ram, he would be even much, much larger.
Yeah.
So, and he's still got his forelocks. He's trying very hard to rip them off, but they are the fashion for his breed.
Oh,
Is to
okay.
keep those. And here behind him over here, oh, hello, handsome. Oh, you gorged on me.
Mhm. Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you.
That's
Fingers.
love.
That's love. So, yes, no, I don't have cookies. Over here, this beauty behind him is also a Shetland ram just born this summer.
Oh,
Notice
wow.
his horns though. So they should be as long as everybody else's at
Yep.
this point. So we're not quite sure what happened to him. So he won't be a breeding fella, but look at that wool
Yes.
and the variation in color.
Yeah.
So he's a keeper.
Yeah.
Anyway, live here. Oh, this is Confetti and her beautiful baby. She's got that wonderful wool too. Come on out.
Oh my goodness.
Come on out. This is Ruby.
Beautiful.
And we sing to Ruby like, Ruby dooby doo, where are you? And she's got her mother we're not very good at training them, halter training or making them be
Sure.
nice.
Yeah.
So some are just this nice, except she just pushed her mother. And her mom is just delightful. Now, notice the difference. Look at this wool. It's got short bits. This is a good example of the diversity of a fleece. So that's shorter and finer, but then
Yeah.
you get out here, and that's still not the underbelly, so that's not waste, but it's a completely different kind of fiber.
Yep.
More primitive. This one, she actually, that ruse, so it'll come out itself.
Yep.
So hers is, she rued after shearing this year.
Oh, wow.
So her fleece won't be any good. But we use it for compost, so it's still good for something.
Yep.
Look, you've got a lot of friends here, surrounded by
Look at
them.
you, Jamie.
And
Mr.
Ruby
Popular.
Dooby Doo. I have
You're
to
the
say,
sheep whisperer. Yeah.
Ruby Doo is one of my faves, so she'll never leave. And Dougie, where's Dougie? Dougie's another fave from this year.
Right there. With his mom.
Hiding with his
No,
mom?
he's right there.
Oh, right in front of me,
She can swing.
right here,
He's our
pretending to swing.
youngest.
He's our youngest ram.
Aww.
So he's a keeper because he comes from
Hello.
my big guy, Cypress. He's from that original ram of mine. So he'll keep the bloodlines going.
Yeah.
But I weathered Cypress. There he is now. Now he's come around.
Hi, buddy.
He was the king of the castle until we got another ram who decided to sort of beat him up a little.
Oh.
So we decided to weather him and keep him here with the girls to keep him safe.
Yeah.
Because the rams will do that. They'll fight to the death for
Sure.
dominance. And feel her now. Look at that beautiful pitch
Yeah.
black,
That's gorgeous.
isn't it? And the crimp in it.
Yeah.
So there's two kinds. There's a 1927
Yeah.
where they like the really fine with a lot
Very
of
short.
crimp, but it's very short. So we actually have both the longer, which is more rustic,
Yeah.
and the shorter because we like to work with both of them.
Beautiful. Well, this was fantastic. I just want to thank you so much for taking us on a tour and taking the viewers on a tour. Really
Thank you
excited.
all.
Really excited that we finally got here.
Wow.
So if people want to find you, how do they find you?
Flying Fibers, spelled the American way, FIBERS.com, at Flying Fibers for all social.
We're on TikTok, Instagram, we're on Threads. We're very hip.
Yeah.
We also have a full service e-commerce website. So if you had seen anything that you really enjoyed in the tour, you can find that on our online store, flyingfibers.com as well. And we do ship to Canada. So we also ship
Excellent.
all over the world, but
Fan-
we ship to
Yeah.
Canada specifically. So,
And we're
Fantastic.
always happy to answer questions.
yes.
Oh, that's
always.
great.
Yeah, yeah.
Pattern
Message.
support.
And do you have any festivals coming up?
Yes, we are doing Shenandoah Valley Fiber Festival in Berryville, Virginia, in the Shenandoah Valley. And then we're also
nice.
going to be at Rhinebeck, New York State Sheep and Wool Festival. So you'll
Excellent.
see some of our sheep there, some of our Shetlands and our Wensleydale. And then we also have a booth there. We're in building 36, booth 19 for Rhinebeck. So
Great.
yes.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. So
you.
nice to see you. Thank you.
And thank you, Jamie.
Yes.
So now where are we at?
I think that you were the sheep whisperer. The sheep were just flocking. They love you.
Oh, yes. You know what was interesting? Well, they're really friendly all around.
They
but
were.
then-
They were
But
friendly.
then they did mention if we moved to,
Yeah.
abruptly that they would be, skittish. But
Yeah.
no, they just flocked to us. Those were, I think,
They were- I
well, they
love
were the
them.
friendliest sheep to
Yeah.
anywhere we've been with their sheep. They don't just come to you. I mean, even when they're boxed in somewhere, they may just come. Well, they don't have anywhere to go anyway. But for free range, I mean,
They were very-
just flocked to us. It's
Yeah.
wonderful. They're
Yeah.
just coming right up to us, and it was very nice, very special. I love the setting under the big trees, and it was
It
beautiful.
was gorgeous.
And the sheep were gorgeous.
Beautiful. Absolutely stunning. And so was the yarn shop.
Yes.
The yarn shop was beautiful. I loved it.
Oh,
And-
I loved the structure was so cabin-like and cottagey, and it had great light. It had that upper window, and it very
Yeah.
lofty with the beams, and they had stuff up on racks, and that one window above just lit up the entire cabin. It
I was ready
cool.
to move into that.
Oh yeah.
And they have they have yarn that I love. Like they not only do they have their own yarn as you saw, but they also have others as well. and I love all of them. So that's my happy place.
And we also had an incredible. They fixed us a lovely
Lunch.
little lunch, which was
Quiche.
delicious. I mean, right from the garden, fresh tomatoes and basil.
Yeah.
And
The cheese
quiche.
quiche.
What are you talking about?
Cheese quiche.
Very delicious. And they went through a lot of effort because she had mentioned how, not wanting to bake much or cook these days or bake much because the hubby does most of it these days. But she went out of her way to make an incredible, yummy crust and quiche that was delicious.
The quiche was great.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was all very delicious. So that was an added little wonderful touch to be so welcomed into their home. And they were great, great hosts all around. And we had a lot of fun. We chatted a lot of history.
Whenever I have quiche, I always think about when I was a little kid.
Yes.
It brings back great memories.
Because that's where the quiche comes from.
That's nice to call it quiche. But anyway, so what did we pick up in the store?
You picked up some stuff.
I did.
Because you loved these two specifically.
But did I say the last yarn was going into my Shetland hat? I think this one is.
Oh.
Well, the other one's Shetland yarn, but I need a finer lace weight, or at least fingering weight, not lace weight, fingering weight yarn.
Because
this is better.
A specific hat that you've got to whip up in the next 2 weeks.
Yes. So this is great. This is the.
Well, it's very convenient that you would, happen to go to a Shetland sheep farm and you needed specifically Shetland yarn.
I know.
To get a hat together for our next getaway.
This is Leicester long wool. So this will be the second color in the hat. Yep.
Leicester long wool.
Leicester long wool. Love it. And there was another one. I was really excited about this.
Did they specifically have a Leicester long wool sheep?
Yeah.
How come I didn't remember that?
Oh, you weren't paying attention to the episode. No. when we watch after we edit it, I'll show you. But I think we even took a picture of it. Okay. This one is really exciting from Seedale, and it is grown with love in the UK and made with care in the United States.
Beautiful. I love that green.
It's gorgeous.
It's stunning.
How look with my eyes?
Makes your eyes pop green.
Well, they might be bloodshot tonight, but other than that, just pretend that we don't have the bloodshot eyes.
And this one's
green.
the all natural.
Yes. Okay. So with this one, it is Wensleydale and Manx Lowton.
Yeah.
What's that?
I can tell you a little bit about that.
Do you know something about Max Lowton?
I do know a little bit about a lot of things. And this one surprised me, so I'll mention this afterwards because I didn't know this was part of the story until this very moment because you didn't tell me what this was.
And before I wind you up on this one, one of the things I love about this is when they dye over it, it looks like tweed because you're not dyeing on a white skein. So it's
you can
great.
see various shades through there. It's very cool, beautiful.
Okay, Jamie, over to you.
Well,
educate the
children.
children.
Make this one a little short. The Manx Lowton. The name comes from the Manx, a very older Manx Gaelic language, meaning mouse brown, which is the nice, rich brown color of the sheep.
Yeah.
It's native to the British Isles. It's a descendant of a long history of short-tailed deer native. Did I just say deer? Yes. I'm tired. Only because there's short-tailed deer all over our yard all the time. Short-tailed sheep.
Yeah.
Right. And so they're descendants of the short-tailed sheep from the area. Specifically, they were in large numbers covering the landscape of the Isle of Man. But by the 1950s, they numbered fewer than 50. So the Manx heritage, national heritage, they needed to save these sheep and redevelop them, and they did so. But they're still on the at-risk rare breed list.
Yep.
There are fewer than 1,500 registered female ewes. Also, what I could tell you about them is, as I mentioned, the color. They're one of the. They're also known for their horns because of this gene where they can have anywhere between 2 to 6. I mean, it's usually, they're, if you want the purest of the pure, you'd love the 4 horns. And it's a gene that mutates and they split the horns in, as they, but you could get up to 6. But sometimes the odd one might just have a 3 because one of them split in 2 and one didn't. And you got a 3, a 2, a 5, or a 6. But I think ultimately when we talk about pure breeds, you're always trying to purify the breeds. So the ones that come out, perfectly, full color, solid color as the original, and with the beautiful 4 horns, or the 6, which would be majestic and incredible. I use majestic a lot in this episode. I don't know why. Imagine the 6 horns.
Well, everything was majestic.
Yes, and the 4 horns. So that's what they're known for, and they have this beautiful soft yarn, and also the Manx. What I want to explain about the Manx Loughton as well is that was a full-on dual-purpose sheep. Do you know that the meat from that sheep is listed in the Ark of Taste? Do you know what the Ark of Taste? Think Noah's Ark, the Ark of Taste. It's listed in the catalog of the International Catalogue of Endangered Heritage Foods, because it's a delicacy. The meat is so deliciously rare. Yeah, it's a delicacy, and it's listed in that book. Yeah, so I wanted to mention that, the importance of the Manx Loughton. And then this one, what's sad about that is that you mentioned the Leicester Longwool, but the Leicester Longwool itself, I mean, that's the original breed, let's say, that goes back along, historically. And then they redeveloped in the 1700s. And then, so there was it's called the New Leicester, or the English Leicester, which is the one that's really still popular today, the English Leicester. But the Leicester Longwool, as it's, its purity breed sheep, is very rare. It's on the endangered list of rare breeds. So I didn't know that you had picked up one of those as well, because I was more focused on just the English Leicester. Sure. But Leicester Longwool is a very special wool indeed, and they had one of those. So yeah. And the last thing I want to mention about the Wensleydale, only because it's fascinating. The Wensleydale, remember, it's super softness and Longwool. That one was used to develop which makes sense, to develop the blue-faced Leicester, because the Wensleydale has a blue head, blue ears, blue legs. Yeah. And the blue-faced Leicester picks up that gene in its blueness of the face. But it's that softness that we love about the blue-faced Leicester. Yeah. And lastly, the Wensleydale Ram is used, which we've covered the Massam before. They use the Wensleydale Ram, and when you breed the Wensleydale Ram with any of the traditional hilltop sheep in Britain, they are called Massam. So we covered the Massam sheep in the past, and that's always a Wensleydale Ram for all of its fantastic qualities brought to with the hilltop local sheep breeds in that area of the UK, in Massam, United Kingdom. Excellent. That's a lot of sheep talk. My head is just swimming. Well, you did a great job. So in a nutshell, if you're in the area, which we didn't even say where it was, it's New York, Pennsylvania. So we're now in the state of Pennsylvania. Yes. It's really good. I would highly recommend visiting it. Fantastic. Absolutely. You get to see the sheep. You get to go into the yarn shop. What more could you ask for? And the landscape. And the lavender as well. The lavender, which they worked hard to cultivate that lavender, and they've got a lot of it. It's absolutely stunningly beautiful. And they make lavender products, as you saw in the video. Absolutely beautiful. You want to eat those products. Yeah. And you can. Yeah. Did you make something edible with that? Probably. We talked about making edibles with it. Let's talk about chocolate too. They have hot chocolate with it, I think. No, we mentioned that they do not have they don't have chocolate bars, but I think they have hot chocolate. Anyway, why don't you go and check and let us know. So we had a fantastic time there. And I thought we have to edit some of that out because we can't say what they didn't have and didn't have. Okay, let's just finish on a better note. Okay. So overall, love the place. You get to visit sheep. Where do you get to do that? And also go to a fantastic yarn shop. It's in a beautiful setting as well. I have to say, they were incredibly hospitable and wonderful and happy, smiling, and they're busy. Yeah, the little one running around, and they're very, very busy people. Yeah. But that was by far one of the most special treats, to be amongst those sheep, and they were just like they really were pets and friendly, and to be up close and personal, and they were wonderful hosts. So thank you. Fantastic visit. Yep.
Oh.
And
Okay, so we just have a couple of announcements to make.
what are the announcements?
One of the announcements is that we are going to be appearing at Wool and Folk. Yes, so that
Very
is
excited about that because we loved it last year. We were happily happily stunned by how fantastic it was.
Yeah.
And we absolutely loved being there. We planned on staying. Oh, we thought, okay, well, as per usual, we got things to do, place to go. We're going to go there. We'll spend an hour or two. We stayed till beyond closing because we loved the people. We chatted with many, many people.
I
new
remember you
friends,
being at on the
food.
side of the road with your
Oh
legs up.
gosh.
Couldn't walk another foot because of your boots.
I could not walk another step. And as I mentioned, we met some wonderful folk. That's why it's Wool and Folk, and the folk make it special, if not more special than the wool. I say more special because I'm all about the speciality of the people. And so food, and we danced.
Who do you mean by the special folk?
All of the folk.
I thought you were talking about the guy who saved you from the side of the road.
Well, that's one of them.
In the kilt and the gorgeous.
Yeah, because we chatted with this
cable
couple
sweater
earlier, and
yes.
they saw us stranded on the side of the road.
And drove us to our car.
And they actually pulled by and said, "Hey, do you want a lift?" And we're like, "Yes," because it was so busy and popular that we were parked like 5 kilometers away. Okay, maybe 1.
Yeah,
but that was
okay.
a distance.
We're way far down on the road on this one. So the date's we're going to drive back to the beginning. It's October 20th, Wool and Folk, and it's at Stone Ridge Orchard in Stone Ridge, New York. And we are part of the podcast Patio Guests.
Yes.
And it'll be Tony from TL Yarn Graphs, Caddy Jacks, and Amy Palco, and Lola Bean and Jimmy the Model.
Fantastic.
How come you're not Jamie the Model? How come that's not your handle?
Because that's not me. That's him.
No, that's Jimmy the Model.
That's what yes.
And
it is in a different setting, but it's going to be just as
it's going to be amazing.
Fantastic.
100 vendors.
It's bigger and better, and it's going to be great.
I'll put a link to
it. So excited, and we're going to be so excited once we're there. And
how excited are we going to be? We are going to be so excited.
You need to be there because it's a must be at place and event.
And then another shout out just on November 10th to 12th, the Fall Knit Retreat, and it's held by Rosehaven Yarn Shop, which is in our neck of the woods.
Right.
And so we will be appearing there on the 11th. I believe.
Okay.
Yep. So I'll put a link to that as well. And then sorry, were you going to say something else?
Well, I don't know. Is there something? I think.
Yeah, there's one more thing.
There is one more thing.
We are going to do this live right now and pick a winner from the last episode. I should turn this off.
Yes, let's turn the volume down on that episode.
So I'll go to comments, and I will scroll through the comments, and whoever answered the question first.
Random.
Yeah, then I go down and then back up, so I don't discriminate against people who just recently left them, and then I go back again, and then my finger is on this one.
Like this is where you need like
Esther Rubin.
Yeah!
Esther is the winner. So
okay.
Yep. So Esther, congratulations. And have you won?
That was so last month. I don't know what did Esther get?
Esther was was able to name Legacy Collection by Mother of Pearl
for
our last episode.
Yes.
And so Esther wins yarn from Kevin Boy Knits. So congratulations. And thank you everyone for watching this episode. We just got back last night, and I wanted to mention do this while everything was fresh in our minds.
Which it's not at all. It's very cloudy because we're tired. So
yeah. So anyway, thank you for watching, and thank you again for your comments. We always appreciate reading them. You can find us on Instagram, and we are on Facebook, and we are on. Well, you're watching it on YouTube.
And with the upcoming festivals just around the corner, we look forward to seeing all of you up close and live in person. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Take care, everyone.
Mes amis.
Bye-bye.
our friend Tina, and Tina's also my neighbor. And Tina's an amazing knitter. She also designs, and how do I explain it? She made a sweater, but she made it her own. And then May posted it on Instagram. We got like 10 likes. I mean, maybe 20, 30, 40. And then the yarn store, the yarn brand, Knit and Fever, reposted it. And suddenly she was going viral. Like May texting me, she's like, Tina's going viral. I'm like, what? And she had 500 likes. We're like, wow. By the end of that night, it was like 1,000. The next morning, it was 1,500. Throughout the day, it kept going up and up and up. And then finally, May emailed Tina. I was like, Tina, what did you say?
I just gave her a heads up that she's becoming famous in case she doesn't know how she got famous.
And then by the end, it was 4,000 likes. Basically, in our mind, she broke the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Um,
she's still going.
I'm up
It's
to
still going.
6,000.
Oh, the pattern.
What happened was,
What do you mean? What happened?
well, the sweater.
So she made the sweater with stash yarn, and she mixed it with our yarn. And I believe, right?
Yes,
The
yes,
story
yes.
is that you ran out of your stash yarn,
Yes.
and that's why you added
Yes,
this.
Yes.
You added the top trim, and
Right.
also,
Right.
and everybody really loved that modification.
Yes.
And
yes.
thought that it's actually better than the original.
Yeah.
And
And then I found the other ball.
and then
And so so what did you do? You enhanced the pattern.
Yeah.
I enhanced the pattern. I changed it around. I made it because I ran out of yarn. I was plain yarn chicken.
yes.
Fantastic.
And the designer liked it. She commented that she really liked the modifications that I made to it. Out of necessity.
Yeah,
Yes.
beautiful. That's
The
great.
pattern is lapis.
Lapis. It's a very easy pattern. It's winged. It's very flattering to the shape.
Yeah.
Very slenderizing, and easy
quick.
and quick knit. I think I did it in 2 weeks.
Wow.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
All of us are very inspired. Everybody wants to
Oh,
make it
it's
now.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah.
nice.
So I'm happy.
Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
But-